Thank you so much for joining us here tonight as we begin part 4 of our 5-part Winter Thrice Shadesong game. Things, of course, the wheels have come off the vehicle at this point. And I had planned this very simple kind of pastoral adventure where the characters would just sort of, be hanging around Yggdrasil and picking flowers and whatnot. But here we are in the afterlife because, players do things and then things happen. And that's kind of how the game goes. So, we roll with it. And just like the FBI, we adapt and we overcome. In order to do that, in order to adapt and to overcome, I've brought with me my goon squad, my squad of goons, my peoples who do things for me, who break legs, things of that nature. And here they are. Look at them. Look at how pretty they all are. Say hello,
pretty?
Peoples. Pretty.
So pretty?
Hello.
So pretty. Hello.
So very pretty.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
But you're doing fine. We are doing fine.
Ready to break some legs.
Ready to break some.
Ready to die again.
That really.
We had a big day today.
Took a turn there. Sorry.
Yeah, that escalated pretty quickly. But we'll make do.
It's good enthusiasm.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I like. I mean, that's why we got Shelly here for enthusiasm and plastic covered maps.
Yes. I mean,
but speaking of Shelly, let us first introduce Beth. Hey, Beth.
Hi. That was a great segue. Into
I know. I'm the Sultan of segue.
Hi. Glad to be here. I can't believe it's episode 4 of 5 now.
Mm-hmm.
Blowing my mind. Super stoked to be here. You can find me on the socials at Beth Masco. And tonight I will be playing 80s, the sad bard. And we'll see if she gets unsad. I don't know how long this, darkness will sit with her. But yeah,
we'll see if Agos took the Ben and Jerry spell.
Hopefully.
That cures the sads.
It does.
All of them. Super happy to have you back, Beth, with your broken heart and everything. Not you, but 80s broken heart and everything.
You don't know me.
I know.
It might be broken. I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry. This took a dark turn again. All these dark turns. I know.
So awkward.
Well, in order to alleviate the awkwardness, I will just move on and talk to Shelly. Hey, Shelly, how's it going?
oh, that's a mistake. I am great. I am excited to be here. I'm back on the coffee, so yeah, let's do this.
Look out.
Why would you leave the coffee?
Well, I was being a void human. See, that's a
Wow.
What do actors call it?
Method acting.
Method acting. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
You and Christian Bale.
Yep, or like this.
Like that.
So, I'm Shelly. me, and you can find me on Twitter at The Real Flea Monkey. And tonight I'm playing Gudrid, who is best friends and business partners with 80s, and is really kind of sad that she's sad. So I'm going to start making ice cream instead of booze. So say I. Here in Vitraven. It's gotta taste real good here, right?
One of the best ice creams I ever had was the Ben and Jerry's bourbon pecan or something like that. That was...
Oh, so
yeah,
we could blend our talents.
That's right.
The crossover event of the season.
I know.
Dollar signs in the eye pupils.
You have to put some pecans in there. And speaking of nuts, hey, Scoos.
Hello, I'm Scoos. You can find me on Twitter and stuff at Scoos News. You can find me on our Superior Adventures Guild Discord, lurking and posting weird, offensive metal songs in our metal channel and all the sorts.
You're really
of fun
selling
stuff.
this.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's actually, I'm sorry. It's actually a really delightful place with plenty of other wonderful humans, of which I count myself humble and proud to be a part.
Mm-hmm.
We love you, Scoot.
I am playing Byron, recently returned from the grave, but also in the afterlife.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like a double negative now. So that's why you're back alive.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
We'll see. He's a little doofus. Likes to hit things. Hits things real good too.
And gets hit real good too.
Gets hit very good. Gets thrashed around real well.
Regretting not taking that shield in the troll pile now.
I regret nothing. Here for it.
Here for it. Well, we're super happy that you are here for it. And I didn't say the same, but we're super happy Shelly's here also because she's got wonderful plastified maps and we love that. Next up, the captain, the person, the man, the Navy calls captain, Captain Dave.
Hello, fresh off the ship. Yeah, hi, I'm Dave. Play games, produce games, and run games here in Guild Superior. I get to play tonight with my friends that you see on the screen, and I am playing Agos, who is a Titan sorcerer mage type, an elderly fellow who likes to throw fire at things that threaten him and his friends.
Or just things in general.
Whatever, yeah, if something gets in his way, he usually solves that problem with fire. But yeah, really excited to play. And yeah, totally hard to believe we're already in the fourth session. Like that's crazy to think.
Like literally, it's over in a
fast.
week at this point. It's very weird.
Really enjoying the Dragonbane system. It's been really fun to play around with. I'm excited to use more of the magic, rules and mechanics. So I'm excited that I have some new spells to play with tonight. So looking forward to it.
Of course, they're all fire spells because.
Well, I did take Gust of Wind. Which
you
is
did
kind of
to fan the flames.
Yes, to make the fire bigger.
Yeah,
fan
exactly.
the flames.
You know what yeah, you're on to me.
Cool, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for playing. And thanks for bringing the fire. Thanks for bringing the hotness. And speaking of hotness, the man whose family name is not Caliente, but that's what we will tell everybody. Michael Caliente. How you doing, Michael Caliente?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Glad to be back. Always glad to be here in Guild Superior. I'll be playing First Fallen once again, the Frost Mutant, who apparently likes to die and get back up over and over again. We'll see how well he does tonight. Hopefully we don't fall again.
Hopefully, but you never know.
Yeah,
you know,
damage?
it's fine. Yes.
Hey.
By the way, when Michael speaks, I hear his voice twice. Does anybody else also hear him twice?
Yeah,
I was just
I'm
hearing
Andy about that.
You're hearing me twice?
I can hear your voice and yeah.
Is that better? I apologize.
Yeah, that's better. That
Oh, okay. It must
Very good.
One of you is enough.
Yeah,
One of
one of you is probably enough. Yeah. No,
You
I
know-
completely agree. It's a lot over here.
FBI recording equipment plays
Damn
with.
it! I picked up the voice.
Thanks for
Yeah.
dropping by here again, and of course, people check out if you're into really, really weird, freaky stuff. Check out Michael's Twitch channel, Insomnia Night, where the business is just weird, and we love it. And you drop in there, and you never know what's going to happen. Maybe it's Furby hell. Maybe it's you never know. It's always the weird business. We like it. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to all of you for being here again on this fourth of 5 nights. A couple more little shout outs before we dive into this. I'm Bleakseason. You can find me at the Bleakseason on Twitter. You can find some more info about this very game, Shadesong, and the stuff that we do with it at bleakseason.com. I would like to thank Andy, my producer, the man pushing all the buttons behind the scenes and cooking us some hot dogs with relish and mustard because he's a very cool guy and he likes to take care of his peeps. Shout out to Tabletop Audio for the music. Awesome tracks that you hear here. You need some music for your game, whether you're on stream or not. It's got tons of free stuff. You can hit up his Patreon. It's really not expensive at all. Tons and tons of really good music. There's something new coming out basically almost every week. A lot of value, a lot of bang for your buck out there. So Tabletop Audio. Thanks to Guild Superior, our little home away from home. That's our home. All the people in it, people who hang out, the other producers, Ashley and Miko, people who hang out with us, play games with us. If you're interested in dropping in, seeing some of our memes and some of Scooz's bad metal posts, come on down. We like to have new people around. We like to make room for new people. We like to play with new people. We play all sorts of games. We have fun. Check us out and come play with us. The Shadesong logo was created by Mr. Creep. And finally, we use the Dragonbane system, as Dave was mentioning earlier, from Free League Publishing, because we love Free League Publishing around here. The Dragonbane system is coming out very shortly in the next couple of months. We're using a PDF, early PDF version that we got through the Kickstarter. It is awesome. A lot of cool stuff in it. Definitely worth checking out once it comes out. And that's it. I think we're ready to go. Ready to go. Everybody good? Everybody good. Last week, the characters having traveled to Kvithaven, which is the afterlife of the Jotun in this sort of Norse mythological world that we're playing in, had defeated a frost Jotun who had this crown that allowed him to control this crystal that apparently had fallen from the sky, and he was controlling time with it. They managed to slay him, take the crown. Aegos almost fell prey to it by wearing the crown just a little too long, but he managed finally to shut the thing down. And I don't remember, was it Byron who slapped him upside the head, or was it Gudrid slapped him upside the head and took the crown off, thereby saving his sanity one moment before it slipped away. And then after grave robbing the crypt of Afdan the Curse and realizing that what they were doing was basically just terrible, they put everything back and spent the night in the crypt recuperating their strength. The next day, with their new allies, the Jotun First Fallen and the elf Thirfing, they went to a place called the Grove of Despised Love, where they found a group of dryads being attacked by goblins who had come from Nissenheim, their home. Their leader, their chieftain, had apparently died of a broken heart. And since everyone in this world was frozen and they figured they could just sort of waltz in and retrieve their chieftain, they showed up. But of course, when the crystal was shut down, the dryads and everybody else awoken and they started fighting. The characters came in, laid some smackdown, but in the course of the fight, unfortunately, Byron was laid low by one too many hits by a savage goblin with a couple of swords. As Byron lay dying on the ground, Aegos made an ultimate sacrifice, as Aegos has devoted his life to researching this item called the Lost Thane's Crown and its fabled crystals, and having one crystal himself, then realizing that First Fallen had another crystal. He used First Fallen's crystal and shattered it in order to release enough magical energy to bring back Byron from the dead. And so with his sacrificing part of his lifelong quest, Eos was able to bring back Byron, who came back perhaps a little addled, which no one can tell the difference. Because, Byron. And now you are here at the Grove of Despised Love, where those who die of a broken heart find themselves. And having destroyed and killed a whole bunch of goblins, you are met by the defenders of the Grove, the Dryads, who take you in and help you out after you have helped them out. Protect their thing. You help them out putting out the fires, so on and so forth. And they give you some water and some food and allow you to take a rest. So you will take a stretch rest here in the Dryad village whilst all this is going on. So we've talked about this already. You get to heal in a stretch rest, D6 hit points, 2d6 willpower points, a condition, and 80s used her healing ability to help Byron regain an extra d6 of hit points. Some of you are still probably pretty low. Is anyone still kind of very low and hurting?
And I was low to start with.
I'll survive.
I will also survive. I'm half injured, let's say.
Half injured.
Half as good as I could be.
Okay. All right. Well, as you're sort of recuperating and trying to I forgot to turn on my candles, man.
Uh-oh.
No, you gotta have the candles.
Get the mood going.
Gotta
Lights
get
are
the
off.
mood going, and it's Shadesong, so putting the purple on. Then we put the movement on. Oh, look at that! All right,
That's
There it
beautiful.
is.
now we're in business.
Oh,
And now it goes with my Barry White voice.
Oh
for
no.
I know. As you are resting, the dryads will come over, and as you're sort of recuperating, they will bring baskets of, wouldn't you know it, passion fruit that they will share amongst you. And as you indulge and eat of this passion fruit, you will each get to regain an additional D6, and we'll say it's a D6 plus 3 hit points. As this passion fruit ignites the flames inside of you. After a little while, after you've been resting for a bit and the fires have been put out and whatnot, the leader of the Dryad, who will introduce herself as Etwain, will come to you and go, well, thank you, strangers. It's a good thing you came along when you did. I'm sorry if this is a little bit too personal, but you don't seem dead. It's very curious around here to encounter non-dead people, so I was just wondering exactly what brought you here. We are certainly very, very thankful that you were here, but I assume that you did not come here simply on the occasion of a little stroll. Would you like some more passion fruit? To land you a bit more passion fruit. Is there something we may do for you?
I would like more passion fruit.
Absolutely. You can have all the passion fruit you want to.
Byron's got
So bring some more
passion
fresh
fruit
water.
juice just dribbling down his face into his little goatee, and he's just keep grabbing some more.
So delicious, so juicy.
Indeed.
Good.
We grow it right here in the Grove of Despised Love. So, is there something we can do for you? Perhaps either in return for your help or...
Oh, yes. These individuals would like to have a conversation with the Green Warrior.
Well, he's certainly a popular fellow these days. Tell me, where do you come from?
What does that mean he is popular? Others have looked for him?
There are others who have come to speak with him. We don't prevent people from coming and speaking to those who have found final rest here. It's the least we can do for those who die of broken hearts. It is a very tragic and cruel way to die.
Who else has been looking for him?
Well, you'll have
Seems-
to ask him yourself, I would guess.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's why you came here then, to speak to the Green Warrior. Well, easy enough to arrange. Are you fit enough to take a short walk then?
I think we're feeling all right.
Are you sure? She looks at, she'll come over to you and she'll look at you and she's like, are you okay? You seem a little sad.
This place is it's beautiful, but it's also kind of haunting in some ways. But I'm okay. Feeling better.
Okay. Well, if y'all are ready to take to the road, I'll guide you into the grove to where you may find the Green Warrior.
Thank you.
Shall we? And so she'll start guiding you through the forest. Everywhere you go, everything reminds you of something or someone that you once loved. You'll see a particular shade of color in a plant, or you'll get a particular whiff, a smell of something that will remind you perhaps of a former lover, or of your a beloved parent or friend or something like that. And everywhere you go, you are reminded of people you have loved, that have gone away, that have either passed on or perhaps turned their backs on you or hurt you in some way. There's no really other way to describe it other than to say that there is this very conflicting feeling of both euphoria and sadness as you momentarily are reminded of, this person that you love, only to then be disappointed in seeing the effects of that love wilting away on the branch, as they say. It is a very difficult path to walk through here, and as you're walking through this forest, which is very much of a fey quality to it, the plants and the trees are all various colors, and the grass is purple, and there are motes of golden light that fly through the air and float around. And as you're going through the grove, Edwin will sidle up to Gudrid and say, I couldn't help but notice during the fights that you are an archer.
Yes, I am. A family tradition. I hunt.
You're a hunter?
Back home.
Hmm.
Yes. Feed my family. And if the occasion calls for it, I go after the monster.
You've slain many monsters then?
Yes. I mean, that is definitely open for interpretation. What one might call a monster, someone else may call a pet, but that was a mistake. Yes, mostly monsters.
She laughs very melodiously as you make this joke, perhaps a little too much than the joke warranted. And as she's laughing, she, lightly touches your shoulder with her fingers and goes, "That was delightful." Are you is your aim as true with your bow then as it is with your wit?
Oh, no. If I'm being honest, no. But if I'm not, yes, no, it's not. But have you noticed I'm a bit awkward? That's a better answer.
No, I find you quite charming, in fact.
Well, thank you.
It's very rare that people who present themselves as being confident or sort of self-assured in every situation truly are. I find it much more engaging to speak with someone who is not afraid to let their true self show and is not afraid to show weakness, to show fragility. It's a very, very fetching quality.
The truth is, I try not to show it to anyone. And when I say that, I look around to make sure nobody else is really in earshot. My best friend does know some of this, but yes, I don't like to show weakness to anyone.
Well, why not?
It would make me seem weak.
No, not at all. Other people need to feel like they are needed. If someone feels like you don't need them at all in any way, shape, or form, the bonds forged under such a circumstance are never quite as strong as those that are forged from mutual need.
I understand what you're saying. However, my viewpoint is quite different. I feel as though I want people to be comforted by my presence and not feel as though I need anything. I want to be the provider.
And yet I sense a great deep void in you. Like there is a sizable place right here, and she'll just very lightly touch up here and go, that is perhaps in need of being filled with something warm and tender. Some light, some love, some caring.
Have you seen my friend Beth? My
Beth?
friend 80s. Have you seen my friend 80s?
She looks over, she's like, a very strong looking lady.
She is full of light. She is full of warmth. This is why she is my best friend.
So you complete each other.
Well, the truth is I know she is my best friend, but I mean, look at her. I cannot say for sure that I am hers. I do think so, but she is wonderful and I am just myself.
So you do, in some ways, need her, then you have shown your weakness to her.
Yes. Yes, to her. She is my best friend, like I've said.
She fills you with light. And you, in turn, provide a little darkness to allow her light to shine the brighter.
I like the way you think. Yes. I have not thought of it that way. I definitely have often felt as though perhaps I am an anchor pulling her down into the dark. I don't know why she would like to be with me, but she does.
Have you ever asked her if she feels this way?
No. I would never.
Well, I'm not one to want to cause any sort of trouble between people who already feel the bonds of deeper emotion. I hope I didn't overstep myself here. I will apologize. And with that, she sort of moves on ahead a little bit, and then she'll turn around and look over her shoulder and go, here's to hoping we never meet again. As the lot of you travel through, you eventually arrive in a sort of glade in the middle of the grove. As you step into this open area, you see a bit of a little river that flows very languidly through and cuts the little glade sort of in half. Everywhere you can see skeletons already sort of being reclaimed by the earth as these vines and these branches and these flowers are growing over them and slowly start reclaiming. Some of them are very advanced state of decomposition, with most of the bones already turned to caticle and only a few of them remaining, and some of them are still in almost intact, and in some places you actually see fresher bodies, but there is this feeling of immense sadness here that is quite a counterpoint to the beauty of the glade itself, with all its flowers and its little motes of gold that are flowing through the air, and all the smells of all these roses and all these various flowers just sort of play this very, very sad sort of offer a very sad paradox to this this scene that you're seeing before you. There are here and there books, pages ripped out, sort of spread throughout. If you pick up some of them and look quickly, you see most of them are love poems, Very few of them are hopeful love poems. Many of them are sad and heartbroken love poems. But as you move through, hey, thank you, Huli, for the raid.
Yeah.
Just in time for the heartbreaking feels of the ecstasy of love, because that's what we do here. Talk about love. We talk about love. As you approach, you will point to one of the skeletons that you can see, and it is definitely a Jotun, and the bones are green, and he is about halfway sort of absorbed into the landscape here. And as you approach, his head moves slowly and he looks towards you. Atuane will say, "This is the one you're looking for. I will wait over here to guide you out." And she'll step aside a little bit and allow you to approach this giant green skeleton that is basically becoming a part of this nightshade and rosebush.
I'll look over
Wait a
to
minute. This is the Green Warrior?
Yeah, are we sure this is the right?
He didn't look like
Yeah, this is the Green Warrior. Look at him. It's a just don't touch. And I look over to...
Can he hear
Yeah.
us?
I can hear
Hello?
you.
Oh,
I can hear. I apologize. I'm very tired these days.
how is it that you lay here, but yet we saw you not but 2 days prior at our village?
I lay here because I was unfortunate enough to fall in love. As for your village, I don't even know what that is or where it is. I doubt that I was there.
If it wasn't him, if it wasn't you, then who could it have been? Someone impersonating you, if not you, in some other form, or does this make any sense?
One did come here recently, wanting to speak with me. I believe, and the head moves slowly and kind of looks around. I believe he may have taken my helm and my shield. I do not see them anywhere, unless they've been taken already by the ground, but I think perhaps he took them.
So you did not visit a you didn't visit a village recently. You've just been laying here.
That's right. I would find it very tiring to visit a village at this particular point. There's not much left of me.
Could it
Not much
have
left
been?
of my... Yes.
Could it be your spirit or someone? I guess
My
masquerading
spirit
as you?
may be broken, but it is here, I assure you.
It could be an impersonator then.
Yeah.
If
But
someone
why?
took my helm and my shield, they would be able to impersonate me. though I don't know why they would want to. I am but a love-struck
Oh, there, my friend.
victim.
I am sorry for you.
Victim?
Oh, don't be sorry for me. I have known love. I have known deep, passionate love. There is nothing to be sorry about.
You look to be anguished.
I am not. I am simply tired. I am on my way to my final rest, but I go knowing that it was worth it. That love I felt, fleeting as it was, brought the most wonderful intensity to everything in this world. The colors, smells, my hopes, my dreams, everything was so much more vivid, so much more pleasant and warm. And, well, I would die 10 times over. It would be worth it.
When you said you're a victim, is it of? Or do you speak of some? Is a victim of what?
I am a victim of my own desires. You seem to give the term victim that I use perhaps a little too much of a negative bend. I am a victim only because I was felled, but what felled me was also wondrous.
We should all be so lucky to go out that way.
It was a long time in coming for me, but when it did, it was brief and, well, I'm sure you can't tell, but I'm smiling. You look, the skeleton, you can't see it's a skeleton. The boy that came to talk to me was animated with passion also, but passion of a different kind. He was a young Jotunbear, and he had dark hair and cruel eyes. He said he wanted my vestments for vengeance. There are a few things in life that can give one as much passion as true love can, but vengeance is certainly one of those things. He sat and spoke with me a while, finding me thusly incapacitated. He said he came from a village called Sunward. Do you know it?
Yes, we know it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a wonderful place, Sunward.
We do.
It is. It's our home.
Yeah.
That's where we live.
Well,
Not you, but them.
Yeah.
You perhaps would remember him then. He said that some years ago, a young boy named Balthar was killed accidentally in your village. Another boy from the shaded part of the village was accused of mischief in the death. Is this true?
This is true. This is him.
I don't know. He spoke of this as being the reason for his vengeance. He said that a woman, an outsider, a mortal, but one who spoke with the voice of one immortal within her, sat in judgment on the dark boy. He was to live, but some of the men could not accept this, and this boy was killed for a crime he did not commit. Injustice is often at the heart of vengeance.
Well, whoever was impersonating you wanted us to sever the ties of the great tree and, I guess, banish our world from that form of existence. Why would they want that?
Well, if the roots of Yggdrasil were to be severed, but you had not been granted passage back to Jotunheim, then in time, all the Jotun and Jotunbairn in your part of the world would die, cut off from the tree and cut off from Jotunheim.
Regardless of the motivations of this individual, they must be stopped. Right?
Yes, we cannot allow someone to hurt Yggdrasil.
No, is there any way, Green Warrior, to somehow track your artifacts that this individual has, to find them, to sense their energy and to draw us to them?
If the one who came here returned to your world, if you saw him, you would have needed Votan's permission to leave. You should speak with Votan. Only a king may grant passage out of Kidhaven. I don't know much else. I do miss Yggdrasil. What a sight it is. It fills one with unending wonder to imagine all the worlds connected to it and all the peoples and all the lives that are interweaved because of it. It stirs the soul. Please do me a favor. When you do return to your world, gaze upon it. Truly admire it. Truly bask in its glory, in its wonder. It too may be gone someday. That would be the biggest heartbreak of all.
Think you and I would have gotten along well in the land of the living.
Perhaps.
Is there anything
seem an old soul.
Is there anything we can do to make you more comfortable as
I do have
happens?
a branch that is just right there. That one. If you could move, it's tickling something fierce.
Ryan's going to smash the branch.
Oh. Oof. Thank you. Nothing worse than an itch you can't scratch.
He'll also scratch his bones nearby with the hammer.
Oh. Okay, gentle.
Now as a player, I don't know where this is, so we're just gonna leave that alone.
Mm-hmm.
Keep
Etuan will come back and go, have you found what you were looking for then?
I suppose so. In a way.
As thank you for saving my sisters and I, we would give you permission to look among the things that have been abandoned here in time and to each choose something if you want to take with you. These are the remnants of broken hearts, but new hearts are always made out of pieces of an old one. Perhaps if you carry some of these with you, you can give them new purpose.
And it's not like disrespectful to the dead.
Feels a little bit rude.
Mind.
No one here has any thought for anything other than what brought them here in the first place.
What causes someone to die of a broken heart rather than those who just continue to live with it?
I don't know. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say that for some people, perhaps the loss of hope that accompanies a broken heart is more difficult to bear than for some others it is. After all, love bolsters hope. When you have love, you have hope that things will be better. Some people perhaps deal with the loss of his hope better than some others.
So really, this is a grove full of people who died of despair? The loss of hope, that is final. Almost.
The hope is something that you give yourself. If you lack the ability to do that, then unfortunately. But that's why it's perhaps a good idea to not invest all your hope in one thing. Love may seem the most powerful and overwhelming force in your life when you encounter it, but it's perhaps always prudent to leave a little bit of hope in other relationships and other things and other people and other interests, so that if the one thing breaks, the others will hold you.
It's a beautiful thought.
Byron,
Huh.
there's a sword.
I know. I think I've had enough of picking up strange swords for one day, maybe. Is it still one day? But I don't know. We're meant to be here, I guess. So if whatever I choose is the thing that we were meant to choose.
Interesting that you say this. I always heard tell that mortals from your world believe that their fate is set, that nothing they do can alter it. And yet, love is powerful enough that some of them, when they lose it, despair enough that they come to believe that there is no destiny, that the road does not continue.
Not that this is their destiny, but there is no destiny. God. I was going to get up and sort of like pace a little bit.
Adis will look over to Gudrid. We're getting a lot of conflicting information here, and it is a lot to handle.
I agree.
Boy.
I actually feel as though we should make our way quickly to Votan.
Yeah. We probably
we
should.
don't know where that troublemaker is right now and what else he could be doing.
Yeah. How are we supposed to fix this?
We have a cool crown. We have some
It's true.
people that can do stuff with time. We're gonna go talk to a king? Votan? Is it king? Of the afterlife? I mean, I feel like we have options.
Yeah.
Surfing says, my grandmother always said you start by putting one foot in front of the other. And you worry about what's down the road once you get there.
That's wise. That's very wise. I would like to put one foot in front of the other and get out of here.
You want to speak to Volton? Let's go speak to Volton.
So does anyone pick up anything on the way out?
Is there anything that is not specifically a weapon, but anything?
There are tons of stuff. You see, as I said, scrolls with poems on them. There's a nice tricorn leather hat there that seems undamaged by the nature around it. There is an old grimoire that is wrapped up in leather and hides. There's a fine sword, as someone pointed out. There is a cloak that shimmers with gold and crimson. There is some sort of tool. You can't quite make it. Looks kind of like a compass, but it's kind of a little bigger, and there's like a sort of copper lid to it. There's several things.
I'll take a look at the poems that are there.
Okay.
See if there's anything that might be familiar from life, and then just to
you pick up.
Yeah,
you pick up. There's a scroll nearby that seems kind of interesting. You pick it up. It is an unfinished poem. It is called "Love's Labors Lost." It is an unfinished poem about the dark power of love, where love is treated like a specter that enforces self-abnegation on the speaker till they're left with no voice, no name, no identity, and become only but a shadow of the one they love, pale and sickly. You realize that if you were to recite this poem, the last line is missing. If you were to recite this poem, you could, in fact, with a witty turn it into a positive poem.
Yeah. I'll hold on to that one.
Okay.
Huh.
I'd look at that compass thing.
The compass is called Stargazer. It is a star map, a magical tool that reads the constellations above. It helps wanderers find their way home. It will always indicate the way towards the home of whoever holds it and uses it. And for 2 willpower, it can be activated once per combat to swap initiative with a target of the bearer's choice.
Cool.
I will put that in my bag.
I'll copy-paste these in the thing. Love's Labor is Lost, for your information. With a performance roll, you gain inspiration to finish it, adding the perfect last line. If it's hopeful, and you get to choose, if it's hopeful, the poem can be said once per day with a willpower cost to heal 2d6 plus 4 hit points or 1d6 plus 2 willpower point. If the last line is dark, the poem can be said once a day with a 2 willpower cost to turn the speaker into a shadow. In this form, they can neither be affected by non-magical damage nor affect the world against them.
Okay.
However, once you come out of shadow form, you gain the disheartened condition.
Oh.
However, this condition can be removed with a kiss.
Okay.
Well,
What a stellar item. That's the cool. Sorry.
This
That's
is the
super cool.
best. Yeah, I want it.
Anybody else checking anything else?
I'm gonna get the hat. I'm gonna place it on Byron's head.
The tricorn leather hat of the fortified suitor.
The fortified suitor?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It adds +1 to your armor with no bane.
This should help with that haircut.
In fact, when you press it down on his head, his hair kind of shoots out a little bit like this.
Oh.
So now it looks like he's got like a...
Yeah.
I pull it down a little too far. So it like... Yeah.
I keep helping, keep pulling it down more.
And then I suddenly can't see.
So yeah, of interest, there's a cloak left, there is a sword, and there is a grimoire.
Agos is curious about the grimoire, so I'll walk over to it and take a look.
Ah, it's a mimic. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no.
Yes.
The most
Fire blast.
depressing mimic.
It is the grimoire of the forlorn heart.
Oh.
It has 2 spells in it. You have to make language rolls to see if you can decipher them and learn them.
Do it. Do it.
You are muted. Because...
I rolled over my base on language.
Okay, so you know there are 2 spells in there. They tantalize you. You can keep the grimoire and you can try again.
I will do that.
What about you, Mr. Fallen?
Well, if you don't want the sword, I had a sword once, and I'll pick up the sword.
And it backstabbed you.
I mean, it did it. It was used to backstab me, but...
Which is interesting because this sword is called the Promise of Deceit. It's a fine sword said to have belonged to a Valkyrie named Frigerd, who fell in love with a mortal named Aesfrid who had died on the battlefield, but whose sword had been taken from her, preventing her from gaining access to Votan's Hall. Aesfrid convinced Frigerd to place her own sword in Aefrid's hand and to carry her to the hall. Later, Frigerd died of a broken heart when she discovered that Aesfrid had lied to her, and that she was not a warrior but a corpse robber who had been struck down by a dying warrior she was attempting to rob. It is said that sometime later a cloaked figure came to the grove and returned Frigerd's sword, albeit with a new inscription in runes along both sides of the blade. The inscription reads on one side, "What love brings is manifold," and on the other side, "But foremost, the promise of deceit." The sword grants the weapon skill sword to whoever wields it. It also gives the heroic ability Insight and a boon on insight rolls for 2 willpower as a free action.
It's balanced well.
That's some heavy shit, you guys.
Byron's going to collect some of the other like scrolls and poems, just like the scraps, just a couple of them.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Kind of look them over. Just thinking.
Did you also say there was a scroll? Or I mean a cloak?
Cloak. The cloak's called the Gossamer Threads of Love. This cloak is a magical vestment that grants +1 to armor without a bane at the cost of 2 willpower. The wearer may make a roll against any charisma-based skill they possess. If they succeed, one target they see, and that can see them will not seek to harm them for 1 turn, choosing a different target or simply being unable to act. This is used as a reaction.
This looks useful. And I'll just hold
Put it
up.
on.
Oh, I have a perfectly fine cloak.
You need all the help you can get, pal.
Oh,
Double
really?
up.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wear it over the other cloak. It'll look great.
It is a good look. It's like an in look right now to double cloak
It
it.
is quite hip.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone
I'll
coming
try it
in
on. I'll try it
from the
on.
living.
How do I look?
You look
We'll kinda
better
spin
than
around.
most of the people around us, and Byron's going to gesture towards all of the corpses.
You look better than Byron's haircut.
Why does listen, I grew up my entire life without hearing a word about this haircut.
Is it part of your culture?
Is it part of his culture?
His individual culture.
Yeah, no one likes
you hear
your
Byron
haircut.
say that out loud. Absolutely.
Oh,
No.
But is not.
But it makes me feel good.
That is all that matters.
And it's really easy.
yeah.
Now I don't even need.
That
I can
also
just
matters.
keep the hat on and then just zip right around.
Yeah. That is perfect.
So you pick these various things up, and thus fortified, take one last look at the Green Warrior. See that he has sunk a little bit further, perhaps, into the ground. But you do see his little bony hand that's kind of sticking out that waves at you. Wishing you luck on your way. The Dryad will guide you back out through the forest, and I will post the I've posted the items in the Discord with all their details. As she's walking you out, she'll guide you to the edge of the forest. Just as you're about to leave, you notice 80s, a woman there that is floating in the water, and when you look at her, you see that she's probably hasn't been there very long, or she is not decomposed or anything, and she's kind of floating in like she's sort of arriving into this area, and you think you recognize her. You think it is Inger from your village.
Oh, jeez. Does I guess she wouldn't look injured or anything. Huh. I'll point her out to Gudrid too.
You know she is, right?
Yeah. Well, geez.
But wait,
She's passed.
but we know who she is.
Is that the boy's mother?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder.
Why is she?
She died of a broken heart. I mean, I guess.
That would make sense based on her circumstance, but why has she just arrived?
I don't.
I mean,
Well, when I
this
say
happened-
just arrive, I don't mean she's just arriving now. Like,
Yeah.
probably
She's-
been here, just not very long.
Yeah.
not very long, but
Does she look like she's been there long enough to line up with when we know the incident happened?
Hard to tell. I mean, you saw her after the incident.
Yeah.
You saw her for a few years after, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably just been a few months since you've seen her, sort of thing.
do you
Interesting.
suppose she might know what her son has been up to lately, and that's why she's here? If
We can talk to her, right? I mean,
Wait.
We'll fill the rest of the group in. This is the mother of the boy. Very upset.
thing, yeah.
Broken heart. Yeah. Can I get as close to her as possible and try to speak to her?
Sure. So as you approach her, she's just sort of floating there in the water. And you approach her and she looks over and she goes, I know you.
Yeah.
Oh, poor dear. Who broke your heart?
probably a few people. When did you arrive here?
No, I don't know. Feels like some time ago, but
Yeah.
nothing really has much meaning anymore, so it's difficult to tell which time is passing.
To pry too deeply, this is a place where people come when they've experienced a great bout of grief, let's say. And what would bring you here?
It is very difficult for a mother to see her child go. And it's not something that one easily comes to terms with.
You lost him a while ago. Did it just become too much suddenly? Or
Why are you asking me these questions? Why are you here?
I'm just curious. It's not often we see familiar faces here.
She seems to look at you very suspiciously now. I don't think I want to speak with you anymore.
Byron will walk up next to 80s and say, I mean, maybe if you look around, the other people have had some time to find their rest, and I don't think that she's had the time to do that yet.
You're right.
But don't we feel time might be of the essence here? Do we need to let her rest for years? I don't think we can do that.
I don't know how time works here, or really anywhere.
Don't either.
I can try. She doesn't want to talk to you. Maybe she'll talk to me. And Byron will crack like a kind of wide grin.
80s will back up.
As you start backing up, she reaches out of the water and grabs you and hauls you into the water with her.
Can I grab 80s before she goes in the water?
Yeah, sure. So she drags you and starts bringing you in the water. And don't you dare hurt him! Don't you dare hurt him! And she's pulling you in the water. And you grab 80s and start pulling her, and water's just splashing everywhere. And like her face looks really kind of mean and kind of angry as she's like kind of clawing at you. And you manage to pull 80s back just enough that you escape her grip, which wasn't very strong.
I won't hurt him. We can't hurt him.
You all did. You all hurt him. You all let him die.
Oh.
I think she is still new here and very much dealing with everything. Seeing you here, if you knew her, is probably complicating her memory.
Yeah, I don't want to put her on any additional stress, I guess.
It'd be best to leave her to her sorrow.
Yeah. And 80 still sort of back up, like clearly still in her head and weirded out by all of this.
Now, you asked about time. I can't answer that. I don't know. I've been through different purgatories where I didn't belong and different hells where I didn't belong. And I can tell you all of these places scramble the memories. There was a time when I almost lost all of mine. I even traded them to escape where I was.
So it could be possible she's dealing with the heartbreak of the event that happened 10 years ago-ish, even though we'd seen her many years after. It could be anything. She could be reliving anything right now.
It's true.
Well, it could also be that you being here, maybe years have passed where you're from.
Not sure we really belong here either.
No. We certainly don't.
Etowine will say, maybe it's time we leave.
Please.
Follow me.
along.
And you'll watch as Inger sort of floats away on the water. Etowine will explain this, they stay in the water until the sharpest pains of their memories fade away, and eventually they climb to the shore and find a final resting place. She will in time. I'll come back and check on her if you wish.
Were you standing here this whole time while this was going on?
Yes. Where would you want me to go?
Why didn't you answer the questions when they were being asked?
They're not my questions to answer.
Okay.
I'm the guardian here. I didn't make this place. I don't control this place.
Just, do you know when she arrived?
Even if I told you how long she's been here, it wouldn't mean anything to you.
That's true.
That makes sense.
All right. Let's keep moving. This is...
So you'll make your way out of the grove of this prized love. As you're reaching the edge of the forest, Etowine will say, I dare say you can make your way back from here since you made your way here in the first place. And she'll go to Gudrid and she'll say, I apologize again for earlier if I had known that the void I sensed in you was not an absence of a loved one. I would not have spoke as I did. Please accept this gift as reparation. And she'll hand you her bow.
This is too great a gift.
No, it's just right.
I look at it. I mean, it's awesome, right?
It's a very beautiful bow. You see on the side of it, there are 5 hearts that are carved out of the side of the bow, and currently 2 of them are kind of emptied out, but 2 of them are kind of filled, and they kind of like, stand out from the rest of the bow a little bit.
I thank you. This gift is more than is required for what occurred, but I will put it to good use.
I'm sure you will. Just remember what I said, that showing weakness sometimes is a way to... Showing someone our weaknesses sometimes is a way to show them our love.
Thank you for your wisdom. It is appreciated.
Thank you for saving my sisters and I. Thank you all. Perhaps in time we will see each other again.
Maybe quick, as a parting question, I think I'm starting to understand. Who has been here the longest?
Who has been here the longest?
Yeah, which one of these has been here the longest?
I don't know that I could pinpoint to one person. This place was here long before I was here, and it will be here long after. I don't think there's really a beginning to any of it. Why?
I don't know. I'm feeling curious about... I don't know. just wonder if this place, people come here when they die of a broken heart. Somebody had to die of a broken heart first, right? And he looks up at the
Certainly.
first fallen. Not,
Right. Like I was the first.
Not you.
Oh.
Right. You were the first fallen. But like, there had to be a first heartbreak, right?
There had to, but there are people that come here from different places. It would be hard to find the one. Perhaps even, she points at Agos, your friend there is not even old enough to remember that.
Well, he's younger than he looks.
No. Well, that cloak certainly looks very fetching on him.
Age is just a number.
And with that, you will head off and make your way back towards Votan's Hall. It's a little bit earlier than we usually cut for a break, but it's a good place to cut for the break. So while your characters are walking and heading back towards Votan's Hall, we will take a short break, and when we return, you will miraculously have arrived at the Golden Hall of Votan, and hopefully get some more information there to where to go next. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few short minutes. Ciao. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us. We have just left the Grove of Disprized Love, where the players have not only gotten some sweet swag, all of it heartbreak themed. So, you know, it's kind of like a bittersweet set of swag. But they also discovered some information, namely that the person who came and stole the Green Warrior's helm and shield was someone from the village that both Gudrid and Hades come from, and relates back to an older story, an older saga, the Saga of Liv's Daughter, to be exact, which you can go back and check on VOD on our YouTube page. And that somehow this one of the boys who was involved in that incident, where one boy killed the other and then the other one was killed by the rest of the village, because, you know, nothing's ever nice in my world, had come to collect these things and was probably the one that was behind this. And that the issue is that if the Jotun listen to what he said and cut off the roots of Yggdrasil, and they don't have the Vaser's permission to go back to Jotunheim, then they will basically all become mortal and die within a normal lifespan. So armed with this, they are heading back to Votan's Hall, since to be able to exit Kvithaven, someone would have had to have gotten the permission from the king to leave this place. You travel away from the grove, and shortly thereafter find yourself arriving back where pretty much near where you started, a little bit north of where you encountered the monolith, and you walk into this this village where Votan's Golden Hall is. And Votan's Hall, of course, is where the Jotuns and Jotun Barons and Titans who die in combat go after they die to feast and fight and, you know, be merry for the rest of their lives. And the ones who don't die in combat get to go here also, but they live in the village. They don't live in the hall, and they don't get the day in and day out partying and fighting that the others do. They just continue to live normal retirement lives, like our friend here, First Fallen, has been living in this village. As you approach the village, you see a young Jotun Baron girl come running out, "Papa, Papa, Papa," and jumps up in First Fallen's arms. She's wielding a little wooden sword that is attached to her back with a rope. It's like, "Papa, you're back!" And she
Yeah.
Gives him a big hug.
Yes, young one.
A big kiss. I made you a new sword, Papa. And she pulls up the little wooden sword and
excellent.
puts it in your belt next to the other 2-3 that you're carrying.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
To keep you safe.
Yes. Don't tell her I died.
You made friends.
Oh, yes, I did.
That one's funny, pointing at Byron.
He is. Good warrior, though. Good fighter.
Oh,
the one to worry about, though, is the double cloak.
DJ Double Cloak.
He looks too old to be dangerous. Like, if a stiff wind came by, it would break him. She pulls one of the wooden swords out of your belt and then kind of squirms out of your hands and then runs up to Byron and goes, "Here, if you're a warrior, you need this to protect yourself." And she hands you a little wooden sword that she carved.
Take it.
He wields...
Good.
He wields the element magic. He's very powerful.
That one? And she points at Agos.
Yes.
She comes up to you, hands on her hips, looks up to you. So you're a magician?
Of sorts, I suppose. What's this right here? And he reaches behind her ear, and as he pulls his hand back, I'm going to use light to create an orb of light in my hand. Well, look at this. Yeah, take it. It's yours.
No, I don't want that. Can you make an animal balloon?
He lets it go. No, I can't.
Daddy, he's being mean to me.
I said elemental magic, not balloon animals.
Well, a real major make a balloon animal.
I don't think... Just go find your mother, find your brothers, your sisters.
This is why I never had children myself.
Starts running, she turns around, she looks at Byron. She runs off. Votan appears on the palisade. His big helm with the antlers sticking out. First Fallen, Thirfing, what news do you bring? Or do you just bring strangers? Live strangers. What in Odin's beard is going on? And he climbs down.
That's a good question. Well, we investigated the monolith, and we ran into these individuals, these living, as you would say. They were in the middle of combat. They handled themselves very well.
But they did not die. So why are they still here?
Well, they mentioned that the Green Warrior had spoken to them. So we traveled over to the Prize Love Grove. You know, I more about naming these things or saying these things.
Did the Dryads try to seduce you?
No, I think this one. And he points to Gutrid. But we discovered that someone had entered here like they have and took his armor and his helm and are pretending to be him, but he was able to go back to the land of the living. And from the understanding that we all have is that requires you.
It does, and I've not been petitioned for the right to return for some time now. But please, you must be famished. Please, come in.
What is going on?
Oh, do I get to go in too?
No, you're not going into the hall. You're just going into the village proper. As you approach the village, you do see the hall, and you hear coming from inside the sound of merrymaking and music playing and people singing and battle, and like it looks like the party is in that cabin. But
I was just gonna say, as we walk by, you guys can see me like peeking through a window as we're.
And First Fallen, and as he takes you to the center of the village, you arrive at this area, and you see the traditional gallow tree that's in in a lot of the villages that the Jotuns have, is looking kind of unwell. It's looking like it's rotting, starting to fall apart. The branches are all kind of split and kind of hanging low. The little trees around it are also looking quite sickly, and when there's a bit of a mist that kind of hangs around a little bit, kind of a gray, unhealthy sort of looking mist. And Votan says, well, whatever you did to that monolith freed people, but this thing's not coming back. And goes over and he puts a hand on it, and when he does, like parts of it kind of crumbles and is all rotten away.
Well, Agos, you were seeing something inside the monolith. I think they were telling me with the crown. Perhaps explain that to Volton. Perhaps he would have an understanding of it.
There was some.
Hold on, young man, please.
Okay.
You are in my village for the first time. Please introduce yourselves, that I may know who I am addressing. You, of course, all know me. I am Votan. And when he says that, there's like a rumble of thunder and lightning in the sky behind. Please introduce yourselves. Speak your names and your deeds.
I am Agos. I pulled an orb of light from that young child's ear earlier.
She was very impressed, I bet.
In the least.
Not impressed. Children these days. Is that all you've accomplished, old man? You seem quite on in age for someone who's does not have further deeds to speak of.
Well,
Tell me of yourself. Tell me your stories. Tell me what you've accomplished.
I don't care to brag. I've lived long and done many things. To sit and discuss those things from my past seem, well, immaterial. I've learned something in this journey, that it is the moment that we are in right now that's most important. Right now we are on a quest to save our people, our village, our realm. We seek answers. We seek to be of service to the greater good. What we've done in the past, well, it means nothing. It's what we do now.
What a strange way to think. You should revel in your glories. You should revel in your achievements. They are what is left behind when you come here. All that would be left behind, all that people remember, the great things that you've done. Once you are here, they will not see you and remember you anymore unless you've left your mark somehow.
You might be right, but I do not seek to leave a mark or a legacy. I seek to just know and to do something good with what I have left.
Wotan looks at First Fallen. Is that what people are doing these days in the living realms?
But
No, you've been dead for a long time. What am I saying?
I don't know why you're asking me that. It's been, I think, over 5,000 years.
You're just a very well-traveled man, I thought perhaps, but never mind. What of the rest of you? The little dark one there and the little light one, and what on earth are you wearing on your head, sir?
This is the latest fashion.
I thought you didn't know anything about what was going on.
We've made it up.
Speak of your names, of your deeds. You are in the presence of Votan.
I am 80s, and Votan, my wish is to make sure that people's deeds don't end up forgotten.
You're a skald.
That's right.
Interesting.
I think so.
Are you a good one?
I don't know about that, but I'm trying.
See, you're not supposed to say it. You're supposed to say, of course I am. I'm the greatest skald to ever live. I have written the finest verses, sung the most beautiful notes. I have made kings dance. I've made kings dance. That's what you should say. You should speak with pride of your achievements, of who you are, of what you can do.
Yes, sir.
Whisper to Byron and be like, brag.
You should have warned us that with, I don't know, what?
He looks at Gudrid. I see you carry a gift from the Dryads. Perhaps.
Yes. I was given this gift as well, I guess the cat is out of the bag. Yes, the Dryad did try things on me and failed. Gave me this gift.
That is worth bragging about.
Have yet to use it. But it does look very nice.
It does indeed.
Worth it. # worth it.
A fine weapon. Just make sure that when you die, you're holding it so that you come here and can partake of the feast with the other warriors and don't end up in the village with, and he looks at First Fallen, those who were not as fortunate.
That is my wish, to die in battle.
With the village people, you mean? The people of the village?
He looks at First Fallen again and realizes that's not going to help. You, sir, with the stool on your head.
It's a hat. I don't think I could sit on it if I tried. I am.
I'm gonna nudge him.
Brag.
I'm gonna pull out my lyre and I'm waiting.
I am Byron, I think.
Ba-da-doo.
And my deeds are I and he holds up his hammer. I slew me alone slew a frost giant to steal his hammer. And I wiggle the tiny little like lapel hammer that I got from the Three Fates, and I say, "This is a token from those who determine all of the destiny." I think.
You've spoken to the Norns. You should have led with that. He comes over.
Yes.
He comes over and stands in front of you.
It's a bit fuzzy.
He looks you deep in the eyes. And he says, I recognize you. And he puts his hand on your shoulder. Then he turns around. He comes back to a lot of you. Well, now that we've met, tell me, what do you wish of me? You have saved my people. You have shut down whatever foul magic. He looks at Thurfing. I assume you have explanations for those things. I have a few ideas. We'll have to bring my notes home and compare them with some of the other astronomers and see what we can come up with. But it seems that Agos here, a very powerful wizard, was able to take control of the monolith and shut down its effect on time, and thereby releasing us all from this long sleep that we were in. And he turns to Agos. Why didn't you lead with that?
Well,
we figured you'd already heard.
I did that with the help of my friends here. I mean, we just did what we had to do, and we will continue to do so. There was some elemental creature of time that seemed to be, I don't know, enslaved inside of this thing. It was troubling. I'm sorry it didn't save your tree.
There are none like this anywhere anymore. I don't know what we'll do to replace it. It's too bad. And the wind blew through its leaves and its branches. It used to sing the most wonderful songs. Some said it was the moans of those who had been hung there in times, but They always seem more hopeful songs.
Well, perhaps one day a new tree will sprout.
We need
and
to
bring
plant
you
one.
Joy.
But we need to plant a new one.
How do you plant a tree like that? What kind of seed makes a tree that makes those noises?
Oh, this one's been here for a very long time. I'll take a magical seed of some sort. Perhaps one can be found in some of the other worlds.
Perhaps. Perhaps they have been found in other worlds. And Aegos will reach into his pack, and as he's kind of digging around, he's like, perhaps the Norns were right. Everything does happen for a reason. Oh my, here we go. And he'll pull out the acorn.
Is that from Yggdrasil?
It is from somewhere.
Why didn't you lead with that?
I only lead with one thing.
You could try to be grateful.
I am grateful. This is from Yggdrasil.
Yeah.
May I? And he extends his hand.
I'm giving it to you.
This is a formidable gift. You, he points at Byron. And you, he points at First Fallen. Rip that old one out of the earth, would you? Two of you should be able to handle that.
Byron just drops the frost hammer into the snow and like cracks his big bloody gauntlets.
I look over at Gudrid like, what are we, chopped liver? We don't get to help?
He'll
A little slighted here.
while they're ripping the tree out of the earth, Votan will come to you, Aegos, and say, you do realize this is priceless.
I do not know its value other than that it is important.
To have a hanging tree here born of Yggdrasil itself will be a most glorious thing. This tree will grow tall and strong and proud. It will be a beautiful sight for the souls who come here. After their deaths, they will be greeted by the sight of the offspring of Yggdrasil. It will bring them much happiness and warmth, and I will make sure your name is remembered for this.
Well, if it is, it is.
He'll go over, and as you finish pouring out that tree that's basically just disintegrating as you pull it out of here, it's just so rotten and kind of old. Votan will go over, and people have started coming out of the houses, and people even in the Golden Hall are lining the doorways and the windows and sort of looking at what's going on, and Votan will go and he'll dig a little bit with his hand, and then he'll place that giant acorn that Aegos had in there, and he'll push the earth back over it, and he'll step back, and then he'll say, "Where is Asathor? Come here." See this guy come over. It's huge, muscles all over the place. A little bit like Byron. He doesn't look like he's the sharpest tool in the shed, but he comes over. Yeah. What can I do for you? We need a little bit of water here to make this thing grow. Can you arrange that? Can I arrange that? Fiddles under his cloak, and he pulls out a hammer, and he lifts it up in the air, and this giant lightning strike just explodes, and thunder reverberates through the entire thing, and all of a sudden you're drenched as this immense, colossal rainstorm just drenches the entire place, and the rain is just coming down like mad. The snow is melting and steam is rising, and within a few moments you can't see anything, and all you hear through this mess is Votan's voicing, "That's enough." And then slowly the rain pitter-patters down and the sky kind of clears. Gotta go back to drinking now? Of course.
I want to go. Ah.
You watch in amazement as a little branch comes out of the soil and starts to grow, and soon there's like a little tree there, and it's just growing before your very eyes. And Wotan is like, that'll do. It'll be some time before this thing has grown to full maturity, but well, by the time you all come back here, it'll be here and waiting for you. You've done much for my people. How may I help you in return?
I mean, we know we need to get back, but I mean, I don't even know what we're going to do when we get back.
Well, we need to find the one that impersonates the Green Warrior. If there's a way that you could, I don't know, send us back to a place where they may be, or if you know where they are, this is our focus. Our purpose.
Well, I did not give permission for anyone to leave, but the person who can send you back is the same person that would have had to give in access to whoever wanted to leave originally. So we shall go talk to him, Dollar, and get answers and get you back to where you belong.
Can we trust this individual?
Absolutely. And Dollar sees all and knows all.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Come along then. As you're sort of fixing and getting ready to leave, the tree has continued to grow, and there are several branches out now, and there are little leaves that are growing. And as the wind is blowing through these leaves, 80s, you start hearing words being carried on the wind, and you hear the lines of a poem that you've been searching for some time.
Mm-hmm.
The last few words you hear are, the sun grows black, the earth sinks into the sea, the bright stars vanish from the heavens. And heed these last words, which contain the answer to the coming of the Fimbulwinter, the dread wolf, and the age of the dying of the light. In the moment of the light's passing, one need only look to, and then the words kind of fade off on the wind.
She has her notebook out. She is scribbling it down. At the moment of the lights passing, one only needs to look to what? Oh gosh, this is good. This is very good. Okay, all right. I don't hate it here, so that's fantastic. Yeah. Let's keep moving.
Very well. Gather around, and as you gather around him with his spear, he starts drawing a rune on the ground in the snow. And as he's drawing this rune, you feel magical energy just sort of pick up around you and course through you, and you kind of feel like you're being lifted up even though you're not really. And then in a moment, you see a flash of light and you're all transported. However, in the moment before you are transported, Agos, as you are about to be taken away, you take one last look at Votan's Golden Hall, and in the doorway of the hall, clutching a giant horn of mead, with a very satisfied and proud smile on his face and a look of gratitude, you see Byron waving at you.
Just nod and wave at my friend, just nonchalant.
And in the next moment, you all find yourselves at the foot of this giant stairwell, at the top of which is a celestial vault with myriads of stars and worlds and everything that exists out in the vastness of the cosmos. At the very top is this iridescent rainbow of colors, this giant portal of sorts that vibrates and hums with magical energy. As you appear here, Egos, the crystal that you have begins to vibrate slightly.
I'll pull it out of my pocket and hold it in my hand.
It vibrates as it used to, or as it did in proximity of the other crystal that First Fallen had, but it doesn't indicate anything else. It just sort of recognizes something, and
I'll just clutch it tightly as we proceed.
Standing halfway up the stairs is this giant Jotun woman with the biggest freaking sword you've ever seen in your life. Her eyes are covered with a piece of cloth, but she has a gem set in her forehead. Votan, you bring strange companions with you. If they lost their way and by accident found themselves in your hall earlier than they should have, well, very likely they can do much better than I can at telling you this story, but I believe they have a question for you. Is that so? And Amdalar lifts her sword and puts it on her back and walks down. I did not see you come in.
I push you all forward.
We
That
came by
that a
boat.
joke?
I don't know. You'll have to tell me, since I did not see you come in. I find it, in fact, difficult to see where you've been lately and what you've been doing.
The magic of the Norns was used to procure passage.
Oh, that would explain it. If you are outside of the normal time, then it's not for me to keep an eye on you.
But you do keep an eye on many things, which is ironic given your current... never mind. We are quite curious of one who has passed through your gates. One who has, a young Jotun who is currently impersonating the one that we've referred to as the Green Warrior. You may have helped them recently return to the other
One
side.
came to me recently seeking passage back to the living worlds, yes.
Okay,
And
good.
you gave it to him?
I had to.
What? Why?
He had a king's permission.
That king?
No,
Different king. Oh boy.
What? We could guess names, but maybe what king?
She reaches into a bag at her hip and brings out something and flips it at you.
Oh, is it one of those coins?
It is, in fact, a wooden coin. It is, in fact, stamped with the rune of Calder. It is exactly like the ones that you carry.
Okay. So they're all in on it. This is just a... Oh boy.
But could he have gotten it in a different way, do you suppose? Then could he have could he have stolen it, or he wouldn't have given it to him? Would he?
I mean, I wouldn't have thought so. Huh.
Well, why would he do that?
I don't know. Did you talk to the not Green Warrior at all? Did you say anything?
No. He came and showed me the coin, put it in my palm, and I opened the door for him. Does not mind to question the will of the king.
Went?
She looks sort of lost in thought, a little bit looking up, and then she looks back down at you and goes, "He went to your world."
Can you see where he is now?
I can. He is in your world.
Could you possibly just drop us like right next to where he might be currently? Is that an option?
Amdala looks over at Votan. What say you, King of Fithaven? These people freed our people from a curse. You will bring them where they wish to go. Amdala looks back at you. Then I can. It's not an exact science, but it should take you where you need to go.
I mean, that sounds good. I mean, do you all think that that's the best place to end up?
Yeah.
Far enough away so we can have a little conversation before.
Yeah.
If that can be done. I understand it's not
Maybe
an
on,
exact
like,
science.
Higher ground or something, if that's, an option, or behind big rocks. Maybe I'm asking too much.
I will do my best.
Yeah.
The four of you then?
Just one. So we go back to the mortal world.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is where you wish to go. A place called Kethelheim.
It is where we belong.
I nudge Volton. Did they say 4?
Why, yes. You have to stay here. Your time is done.
I was trying to count.
All it takes we just need King's permission. We 4 have been given King's permission. Byron's gonna look at Egos, like really, real slow, like just like glacial pace, wheels turning. Could you give... Now look, I don't know anything. And he just sort of pauses and like looks off in the distance for a second. Could you, if you give First Fallen one of those tokens, could he come with us?
Possibly. Do you want to come with us, First Fallen? Can he come with us for the cost of a Jarl's favor? I'll dig into my pocket and pull out
Volton says, while I might find it in myself to allow First Fallen to leave, the unfortunate side effect of this would be that, as he has no name, he would not be able to return here if he were to die.
Oh, then no. Then let's not do that. You're with your family. That's more important.
Yeah.
If only there was someone here who knew what his real name is. And Votan sort of looks side-eyed at Hemdaller. I was never asked.
What's his name? Is it also Byron?
Votan comes up to First Fallen and goes, First Fallen, you've took a long circuitous route to arrive here to find your family. It is perhaps not the death that you deserve, since you do not have access to the Golden Hall, but it is a good death. It is a good life here. Would you be willing to risk that?
I served the great tree, and I was stabbed in the back and unable to defend myself or even fight and fall, and as I should in battle. I do enjoy seeing the family and all of the children and all of the wooden swords. But the hall calls to all of us. The battle, the drinking, all of the postering of stories, and I never really got those. I mean, I have stories, because I don't think any of them have traveled the alternate purgatories, but that doesn't count for our kind.
It is true that you have accomplished much to still not have the right to access the Golden Hall. If you wish to attempt one more time, I will not stand in your way.
If you all offer this to me, I will assist you as best I can.
I think I speak for all of us when I say it would be our honor
Yeah.
to have you join us, Mr. First Fallen.
Heimdallr, a man can't be allowed to leave here without at least carrying his name with him. And Heimdallr just looks at you and says, Hailvar. Your name is Hailvar. And as she says that, like, that memory comes flooding back, that memory that you'd sold back in the underworld just comes flooding back to you, and you remember who you are and what your identity is.
I bow before Hemdar and thank you. I have my name again. Thank you, Voltan, for allowing me to leave. And thank you, new companions, for this gift.
I've seen you fight, First Fallen. You'll be back here soon enough.
Ouch.
Is not very nice.
I'm still
the
nodding,
best.
thinking it's a compliment.
Thank you again for liberating my people from the curse. I hope you can liberate yours also. I will see you all again someday. Some of you sooner than the others, but hopefully you all die with a sword in your hand so that we may raise a glass together in the Golden Hall, a horn together in the Golden Hall. And if you're going back to the land of the living, please visit Hadron and raise a glass of Hadron's wonderful mead for me. I do miss it so.
Is that what made you go blind?
No, that was Votan speak.
Oh, dear. Darn it. Oh, that was such a good bit.
I know, but he's got an eye patch, so you know, your joke was half good.
Okay.
M Dollar says, very well, and goes over and takes the sword and plants in the ground in this sort of wheel that's there with a slot, and then plants the sword and turns it. And as she turns the sword, the whole thing at the top of the stairs, that whole what's the freaking word I'm looking for?
Portal? Vortex?
Yeah, but you know that
Dance floor?
the multicolored thing.
Rainbow?
Rainbow.
Rainbow. The multicolored thing.
Fuck me sideways. That rainbow portal starts to activate, and the colors sort of move. And as the colors sort of spin quickly around each other, you start seeing through it Yggdrasil, and you start recognizing the land beneath it. And Woden goes, "May the gods be with you." And he turns around, and as he walks away, he explodes into a flock of ravens and flies out. M Dollar says, "The door is open."
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Thank you
Is
very
you-
much.
Climb up the stairs and step through the portal. M Dollar will look at Byron as Byron steps by and goes, "It was a pleasure to see you again, Jarl. My Thane."
He'll stop and look at Heimdallr. Please don't call me that anymore.
As you wish. And as you walk up the stairs and step through the portal, you find yourselves in a flash of multicolored light back where you started in Frostheim, just outside of Yggdrasil. You appear in, as I said, a burst of rainbow light in the forest, just a little bit outside of the city. It's quite cold, much colder than it was when you left. The wind howls through the trees and the snow is coming down pretty hard. You would have expected it to have been closer or even further into spring, but it seems the winter has only doubled in strength since you've been gone. And the five of you find yourselves there for the first time in a long time, first of all, and you breathe actual air and you can feel it filling your lungs, and regardless of how cold and biting it is, it feels absolutely invigorating to have this physical sensation of the air coursing through you, of the wind on your skin, of knowing who you are, and of feeling the heat of these people that are standing here around you. It's a feeling that you've not felt in thousands of years, and even though those thousands of years have gone by, sometimes in a very fast fashion, you now feel the entire weight of them. And as you look around you, you can see how this place has changed. You have been gone long enough that there are new mountains that have sprung up, and some that have disappeared, and trees that you're certain were just saplings when you were last here have now grown into giant, mature, towering beings that look down on you.
It's snow on the ground and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as we get there and I take in that deep breath, I feel all that, like you said, all the cold, and I feel again. And he takes off his armor, just the top part of it, and kind of just feels that cold again and absorbs it. Remembers. Feels good to be alive again, my friends. Thank you.
Looks good on you.
It's invigorating. We're gonna have a good time.
We may
Yeah.
just earn you a place in Valhalla yet, Haldar.
Oh, we will see battle. Great, glorious battle. Oh, and mead and drink. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you, Agos. Thank you, all of you.
That reminds me. And I pull out what's left of variety number 7. I feel like we've saved the best for last. And we've, do you have a cup? Well, you don't need a cup.
We don't need
I
to
You
have
have a,
I pull out
pass it along.
one of my delicate mugs, and I look at Halvar. Halvar.
Hail,
And I say, it is good to be alive again, and you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
Oh, true. Let the journey begin.
so I'll squeeze a little bit of variety lucky number 7 is what it's called, into that cup or a
Yeah. I got a mug.
okay.
It's in my inventory. I have a delightful mug. I think I took it from the Norns.
And I'll pass it to Halvar.
Helva.
Let this be
Halvar.
your first beverage.
Oh, thank you. Now, down that and
No. You need to sip it.
Describe what it's like as it enters his gullet.
well, do you want me to describe it? Yeah, what's this taste like?
It's her drink. She should describe it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The beginning notes are kind of earthy, kind of muddy, kind of leafy, very natural. And then it warms up on its way down. And it finishes with what sounds terrible, but is actually very delightful. A flavor of tennis ball.
Mm.
Like it smells like it tastes. And it is perfect with all of that together.
It is the best thing you've ever had, next to Hadrian's mead, of course.
This is amazing. We must have more of this at some point.
That can
Thank you
be
for
arranged.
sharing that with me.
You're feeling a little lightheaded.
There is a bit of a hallucinogenic property to this as well.
Oh, great.
I don't know if it'll work on you, but it has on others. Just be aware, for the next hour.
Been alive for like 2 minutes and already just...
You see these beautiful butterfly wings that are sprouting on the back of Gudrid's on Gudrid's back, just flapping away.
A little bit of tracer.
You never told me you had wings.
Mm,
It's working.
mhm.
Excellent. What a time to be alive, huh?
Enjoy
Oh,
that beverage.
Amazing.
Wow. Wait a second. Did they drop us where we're supposed to be? Are we close?
You're close
Maybe
to
right here?
you're close to Frostheim, yeah. You're
Yeah,
like,
we have
to-
within like
Green Warrior is
half
also
hours.
close.
We have to search for this warrior.
Yeah.
Can I have some of that lucky number 7?
Yes. It would be
Some.
my pleasure to serve you. Sip. It's a sipping drink.
Thank you
I
for
give
the
some.
warning this time. I remember it not going so well before.
At least you remember.
It may have been the cup before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lead lined. It'll do something to you.
Thought
How about
it was...
you pour me however much you think that I should have.
I am currently on the ground making snow angels.
Because that looks very fun.
Not as much as him, please.
Okay. Well, your chemical makeups might be a little bit different. He's just only become this again. Here, I'll give you some, and I'll ask you to sip it.
And I will not.
Fair.
Classic Byron.
As you sit around sipping old number 7, you will find your hit points and your willpower points all return and your conditions evaporate as you return into your home. What, may I ask, would you like to do now?
Well, we've got to find the not green giant, right? First and foremost? Or do we address the king or the Jarl? Oh boy. If we're lucky, they'll be together.
Do we go to the Jarl's dwelling? Maybe that's where, if they are together working on this experiment, they might be both at his house. That's the only place I would think of, unless we know where he used to live.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'd be there.
What? Could we just play it back for a moment? I mean, I remember, of course I do, but let's just... So, Green Warrior showed up and he said that we should sever the tree's roots. And the Jarl gave us these tokens, sent us to the Norns, who sent us to the afterlife. If they want to sever the roots of the tree, what does the Jarl stand to gain from that?
That's a good point.
We'll know this when we ask him.
Byron just chuckles a little bit. I don't think he'll be forthright if we just ask him. I can hit him.
We could kill him. I just gotta pop up out of the snow.
If he's dead, he can't answer our question. So, let's rein it in a little bit, and then
But where will
see
he
what
go?
we can get.
Maybe we could go back there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And then Byron lays back in the snow. I'm feeling it.
It's wonderful. It's so... to be alive.
Both Hilvar and Byron, you will see these beautiful white... You don't know what they are. They look kind of like deer maybe, but they're not quite that. They come out of the woods and they start walking in a circle around you. And as they walk in a circle around you, they keep approaching and they start sniffing you and start licking at your hands, and you realize you're holding little fruits and berries in your hands, and you offer them to him, and the other 3 of you see these 2 like this, amazed as they look at their hands hanging out in front of them.
Gudrun takes out her notes and is making some notations on this.
Shh! You're gonna scare them away.
Adis will not look away from whatever the hell's happening there, but sort of nudge Agos. What do we do? Where do we go first?
I believe we will find the Green Warrior in the same spot where we saw him the first time.
Okay.
And if not, then we will go to the Jarl's home.
Yeah. I guess we really do need to figure out if the Jarl's in charge. Hmm.
So you're heading to the
Okay.
village then?
Yeah.
Okay, as you walk towards the village, as I was saying, the winter seems to have intensified, and as you approach the village, you find your feet sinking into the snow. You got snow like up to half calf, and really, you should be right in spring now. So this is a little bit sort of perturbing. As you walk and approach the village, I would like everyone here to give me an awareness check, and Skoos and Hailvar and Byron can roll with advantage since, you're high.
I rolled under.
Yep. Got a 2, which beats my 3 that it needed.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Hail this mushroom drink or whatever it is. Who else made it?
I made it with a 6.
I meets a beat. So yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Almost failed.
Those of you who made it see off in the distance, and it's very likely some trick of the light, perhaps, a strange cloud or something like that, but off in the distance beyond the forest, sort of behind where Yggdrasil would be, and you can barely see Yggdrasil in this mist and this snow that's just sort of this curtain of snow that's just kind of whipping in front of your face. But you do kind of manage to see a little bit the shadow of Yggdrasil, and it kind of seems like behind it, off in the far distance, there's some giant shadow that is looming, perhaps like that of a wolf that is pacing behind it. And as you sort of move on and the tempest shifts and the clouds shift a little bit, this shadow sort of seems to dissipate a little bit, but you kind of get this feeling that there's this doom or this giant shadow that is hanging over everything behind Yggdrasil as you walk towards the village. The words in the poem that you heard, 80s in the tree that you've been studying for so long, seem to resonate now as you sense that there is perhaps some truth in these ancient words. And a bit of a fear, a bit of a dread settles in on you. So the two who are high, you just kind of see this and, are kind of tripping balls. But the others who see it who are not high feel this kind of sense of doom and dread that settles a little bit over you. And you kind of get the sense that there's something that's going on that is a little bit beyond sort of everything, but that what you're doing and what you're part of right now is one small part of it, but that it is irrevocably connected to all those are everything. There's a skein of various strands that are coming together slowly over Kettleheim, and that yours is just one of them, but it is one of the core ones that is sort of holding everything. And this is the feeling that sort of hounds you and settles over you as you enter the village. You find the village very quiet, and at first there's kind of a bit of fear in your heart as you remember the last time when you arrived in Kvithaven and found all the people dealing with the sickness curse, the sleeping curse, and sort of all passed out. You kind of almost feared it, but eventually you'll see a couple of kids kind of come running out from around a house, and then through the snow, that's when you'll see a guard and you'll see a couple of people moving about. The place is just quiet because the storm is pretty intense, and there's just people who really need to be out that are outside, and a couple of people are kind of hunched over as they're going about their business. The area where the green warrior had been has been completely recovered with snow, and the tree has gone back to being a dead winter tree of where it used to be. And the giant bonfire that usually roars in the middle of the place day and night is there, but it's very, very low and kind of attenuating. There's people just throwing logs in it left, right, and center to try and keep it alive. Yep. Someone's going to say something? No? Okay, I just heard my own echo. You arrive in the middle of the village, and you hear, "Oh, that took long enough." And As you turn around, you see the old Verdruna come shuffling through the snow. Their stick ahead of her, Zvala.
Did you miss us, Svalda? And
Well, I
Aegos
missed
will
you,
kind of
young man.
Work his way a little bit faster, picks up his pace a little. You see a
Yeah,
little
she
spring in his
tries
step.
also. She's like, you don't look a day younger than when you left.
You look more beautiful than ever, Svalda. And he'll just give her a hug.
Oh, thank you. And she gives you a hug
Little
back.
peck on the cheek.
It's a pleasure to see you again. Don't tell anyone I said that. I'll kill you.
I like it when you talk like that.
She leans over and she goes, my hut's nice and warm. When we're done with the business, you should come over and have a little bit of mead. Or
Oh,
perhaps some
indeed, I
mulled
will.
wine. Do you like mulled wine? I make it with special herbs and spices.
I know you do.
Mhm. What about you, young whippersnappers?
Mead?
Oh, what is that? She comes over to you. Oh, you look
hello.
positively ancient. She taps you with her stick. Oh, you're
Hey.
real enough.
This is our friend Ilvar.
Hello.
I don't like him.
He's actually very
Anybody?
nice.
I'm sorry? He's very nice?
Oh, he's actually very
Yeah.
nice.
Oh,
Yes.
and nice makes the world turn, of course. He'll
I'm
do.
still high, right?
Yes,
So
you
I
are.
just start to.
Are we still like what is this this woman look like to us right now?
This
Stony baloney.
extremely beautiful young woman stands in front of you, long flowing locks, this face like, pure joy to look at, and even her breath as it reaches to you across this blizzard smells of honey and berries, and it's just so like you're in love.
I pick her up.
Okay, well, as you go to pick her up,
Oh.
she'll let you pick her up. You pick her up and she'll be like, "Hey guys, this is your opportunity to play the hero,
Oh.
and either you get this oaf to unhand me, or I will turn him to ice where he stands."
So as I pick you up, I'm holding you like just kind of like a child in a sense, and you're a Valkyrie, and I'm having you fly.
Hey guys,
Unhand her, you brute!
Oh, I apologize, Agos. I put her down, and she's a Valkyrie. She has wings, and I was showing her how she could fly.
She backs away from you, goes to Agos. Where did you find him?
Well, we brought him back from the land of the dead.
Oh, you said that.
He's like looking at her like, pretty cool, huh?
Maybe we should send him back.
Well, he'll be back there before we know it. And he looks over at Heimval and gives him a wink.
Why are you winking at me?
I don't know.
Best we go see the Jarl before this degenerates any further, and I'm
Have
forced
you
to kill everyone.
Have you seen the Green Warrior lately?
He was here earlier.
How much like before, like when we all saw him together,
Yes.
but not since then.
No.
You are very informative
Thank you.
and very, very beautiful.
My God, what is up with all of you today?
That long flowing hair and the wings, like one of the Valkyries. They're so beautiful.
I've had enough. She walks away towards the Jarl's house.
That's
Agos, come along.
Yes, dear.
Okay.
He leads you to the longhouse, opens the door, and you see Calder there sitting down at his meal, and he sees you and he motions you in. It's like, you've returned. Please come, sit. And the servants bring some more food and drink. I sit around Sybil. There's a nice big fire that's roaring. He's like, I'm heartened to see you all. You've been gone for quite some time. I didn't expect the trip to Yggdrasil to take so long. Please sit. Tell me, what did the Norns have to say?
Everything happens for a purpose, and we can't control any of it, and we walk the steps that we are destined to walk, and we end up where exactly we are supposed to be.
And it's interesting, we ended up right back here. Why is that?
All of it doesn't matter, and I'm just staring up at the ceiling. How long does this alcohol last?
I'm starting to feel a little bit
an
more
hour.
sober.
But
Yeah, you're starting to sober up a little bit there.
didn't give you a major hallucinogen.
Just a sip, just a smidge.
Yeah, but you chugged it. It's your fault.
It's your fault. Calder says, "Why are you speaking in riddles? Tell me, what did you learn?"
Hades will just look over to Gudrid.
We learned quite a bit. And I still have the coin that
Heimdallr.
Heimdallr gave us, and I'm going to throw it on the table.
You made good use of the other two, then.
This is not one of those.
Where did you find this one?
It was given to us in Vitraven.
By who?
Dollar?
I am
Ring any bells?
the guardian of Bifrost.
I look back at everybody else like, are we doing this?
Oh, yeah.
She says that this coin was given to her to let the Green Warrior out.
So it is him, then, who has come to us.
Not him. It was a fake.
Explain yourself.
Can I get a
Remember,
read on this guy? I'm sorry.
remember 10 years ago, the whole drama in our town and the boy that the town went after? This is apparently from him. How would he get this? How could this have happened?
And you are sure that this boy is pretending to be the Green Warrior?
It appears so.
Oh, certain of it.
Can I...
He's got the coin and he seems very kind of pensive and kind of lost in thought for a moment. Go ahead, Beth.
Can I try to do a vibe check on him?
Vibe check.
Yeah, that's an actual thing in Dragonbane. Great.
Yeah, Dragonbane is 5
Yeah.
checks.
Vibe check.
Vibe check. Yeah, you can roll your awareness, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Can Byron, who is hanging back, also roll a vibe check for this motherfucker?
Sure.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, dragon.
Yes.
Roll a 1!
Very nice.
Did you
also
really?
rolled a 1?
Yes, I did. Absolutely.
Yes.
Fives in the background.
Right, so they cancel each other
Yes.
out. And
Oh no.
And the world explodes.
We're seeing his soul right now.
Yes.
yeah, so you're basically what he's thinking is you've just confirmed his worst fear, and that he has totally knows exactly what you're talking about. Like he's got that look of fuck, I fucked up, and that's what I thought it was going to be. That's
So-
what you're
Clearly, you're in the know. We can tell that much. You really need to work on your face, man. I would like to know more about this, and it would probably behoove you to be very honest with us so that we can get this sorted.
It would behoove me. I'm still a Jarl.
Cool.
You're a
Okay.
Jarl who is trying to get us to sever our ties with the tree.
Don't be stupid. I'm not trying to sever our
Bias?
ties to the tree.
Well, then what?
Trying to do what I can to ease the pain of a woman whose heart is broken over the death of her son. See, many years ago, before I met and married my wife, I loved another woman. And this woman gave birth to my son. Fortunately, I had no time for that. I had no time for a wife or for children. I could see my future writ clearly in front of me. I knew it was to be Jarl. I knew it was to lead our people. And that's all that mattered to me. And so I left her and my son in the village of Sunward. In time, I met my wife, and, well, we never had any children. I knew I had a son, Balthar, in Sunward, and I kept telling myself, one day, I will go and find him, and one day, I will tell him who I am, and one day I will be his father. And I kept telling myself, one day I will go and I will see him grow up, and one day I will go and I will teach him our ways, and one day I will go and I will make sure that he's raised properly so that when the time comes, he can take my place. I kept telling myself that, and years went by and time went by. Well, then the whole thing with the Titans happened, and Surtur, and the Battle of Yggdrasil, and then, well, there just never really seemed to be any time. The next that I heard, my son had been killed. Some said by another boy, some said by accident, but by the time I heard of it, the mortal named Saga that I had hosted here after she had helped us at the battle, knew I had sent on her way to return home, had passed judgment on the one who had supposedly killed my son, and that judgment did not satisfy the men of that village, and, well, they took it into their own hands, and unfortunately another boy lost his life. Sometime later, Inger, the boy's mother, came to me, heartbroken, knowing that not only was her son dead, but that all of this had led to the death of another boy who was very likely innocent. Or at least no more guilty than the world can be in the case of an accident. And she begged me. She begged me to do something to help her. And I told her the only thing I could conceivably do would be to buy him passage back with one of these, and pushes the wooden coin. Someone would have to take it to him, though. That was not a sacrifice that I was willing to make. But she was. She traded her life for his. When the Green Warrior appeared, thought the coincidence was too great. I thought at first, I hoped, that somehow the Green Warrior had acquired the coin that I had sent to my son to return to us. And that's why I sent you to verify. I hoped it was the situation, but now you tell me that the coin served its purpose and allowed the boy I sired to come back to us, but it seems that there's a dark passion animating his heart, and he has decided that instead of taking this second chance that his mother gave her life to grant him, that he would use it to get vengeance. That was my fear, and you've just confirmed it.
So you don't... You, Jarl, and Byron just bites that word off from his mouth in like just a ferocious snarl. You are saying that you actually, you don't want to sever us from the World Tree.
Why would I want such a thing?
But it's your son that does. And you let your wife kill herself. You let the love...
It was her choice to make. I have no dominion over the lives and deaths of our people. They do as they choose.
I bet they would choose differently if they knew.
It was her choice to make. Her heart was rent in pieces. If this
she made it
brought
because
her,
you couldn't. Because you couldn't bring yourself to make that choice. Howard.
he gets up and the table, lifts up and the bench. Who are you to call me such? How dare you? You and your people nearly killed everyone in this land. You and your people let yourself be confused and seduced by the corruption, by the power of some dark entity that led you to fight and kill your brothers and your sisters and your mothers and your sons. You brought fire and death and blood to everyone in this land because you could not stand up to one offering you these things. And you call me a coward in my face, in my hall?
Who gave you your title?
People of Kettleheim did.
And is that the greatest title that you could achieve?
It is the only one we have left.
think you need to treat your people better. You
Who are you?
You risked
Who are
so
you?
much. Not sure. I don't know if I.
You are
I don't know
not
if
the
I-
halfwit that I sent with them to the tree.
I'm still, and then he sort of tips his hat a little bit.
What do you know of leadership? The
just
sacrifices that I have to make. I cannot be concerned with what I want. Did I want my son back? Did I want the time that I misspent back to have with him? That is all I cared about. That is all I wanted. But I cannot have that. I cannot have that.
Would you give up your title of Jarl for that? Would you step down if it would bring your son back to you in that way? Would you sacrifice the thing that gives you your authority?
In the blink of an eye.
And you and I understand one another. I think.
He sits back down. What now? What else have you learned?
Well, we saw her there.
I would imagine.
She wasn't at rest yet.
Well, first, I believe that. And as he says that, you hear coming from outside the sound of a guard's voice. Jarl Calder, you should come out. The Green Warrior has returned. He wishes to speak with you.
Byron's going to step out of the way and just very dramatically gesture towards the door.
Calder will get up. Let's see if you're right. You'll head outside. What do you do?
Follow. I'm into this.
Follow him, yeah.
Yeah.
Got my
Right.
hammer in my hand. Yeah.
Guys, stick with the party. I'm being silent. I have lots of questions.
As you
Still coming down a little bit.
No. You were having a moment, and from my character's point of view, I've been gone a long time, and so these people in charge are weak to him.
You step back outside and waiting in the center of the village again with grass growing beneath him and the tree starting to sprout again is the Green Warrior. As you step out of the longhouse, the Green Warrior says, I am saddened to see that your people have not begun their work, Jarl Calder. And Calder says, that is because we've come to doubt your words and your provenance. You say you come from the Vasir, bring word from them. I say you are a liar. You may doubt me if you wish, says the Green Warrior. All that you're doing is dooming yourself. He looks around. The Fimble winter has begun. The dying of the light. The eternal cold. If your people do not do their task, they will not be allowed back into Jotunheim. You will all stay here and face Ragnarok. This world is doomed. It is pestilent. It is corrupted. Its time has come. Look to the sky, and he points out. And you can see that shape that you saw earlier, again, sort of behind the clouds and behind everything. That is Fenrir come to devour the moon and the sun, to cast this world into eternal darkness. Time of the axe, the time of shield, the time of fire. Brothers will fight brothers. Fathers will fight their sons. The gods will die. This is where you're at. You have but one option that the Vaesir have extended to you in their eternal graciousness. Sever the tree and then find your way back to Jotunheim, and you will all be free. Boy, I should slap the green right out of your mouth. Do as you wish, Jarl Calder. I have been sent here by the Vaesir and their mercy to give you and your people a way out. If you do not wish to take it, there is very little I can do for you. And Calder will walk forward and stand in front of him and say, these people, and sort of gesture towards you, have traveled far. They've brought back news, word, from the Green Warrior's mouth itself. It seems that you come from someplace and you bring word, yes, but it is words of treachery. There is pestilence, yes, but it is your voice and the darkness in your heart. You seeks vengeance. The Green Warrior goes, I don't understand what you're saying, Jarl, but you have a decision to make. Order your people to work or stay here and die. It means little to me. And Calder reaches out and grabs the helmet and pulls it off and just flies it off into the air. And as he does, you can see that the figure diminishes a little bit. You can see that the person underneath, who looked for earlier like a Jotun with a green beard and, you know, slate gray skin, now appears as a young boy. But you see that his hair is not dark, it's light. And half of it, the tips of it, are kind of dark, as if perhaps they had been changed color recently, but his hair is blonde and his skin is fair. And Calder says, I made some mistakes, and if you want to hold anger in your heart against me for my mistakes, then do so. But you should punish me and not the rest of these people who have done nothing. And he says, they've done everything. They have lived here. They have spoiled this land. They have lied to each other. They have forfeited the right to a better world than one of eternal winter and darkness. And Calder says, your mask is off, boy. We know who you are, and we know why you're here. We know you have no power. He grabs the shield and he rips it off his arm and throws it away. There was a time when I would have welcomed you back here, but that time has passed. Your mother sacrificed herself for you, and this is how you repay her sacrifice? This is what you do with the chance that she has given you? Your heart is way too filled with darkness and anger for me to welcome you into my hall. Walk away. Walk out into the cold and the dark. There perish for all I care. And he turns around and he walks away from him. Do awareness checks, everyone.
Success.
Success.
Fail.
Failure. Those of you who
Fail.
succeed sense this tremendous anger rippling through this boy. And I'm saying like supernatural, like there is an anger and a violence that rips through him now that literally makes him shake and vibrate where he's standing. And you can see that whatever it is, who won? Who got a success? It was 80s. Anybody else? And First Fallen. The two of you see that there's something sort of beyond just a normal person's ability to feel anger. The anger is so deep and anchored so powerfully inside of him that there has to be something more to it. I want to give you a chance to do or say something here. The two of you who noticed this. Do you want to do something or say something?
Yes. Oh boy.
Do I sense that he's going to attempt to attack his father?
You sense there's something happening, yeah.
So if he attempts to attack his father, I will attempt to grab his spear and stop it.
Okay. 80s.
I'm gonna bust out my lyre and start playing just a tune to bane him a bit.
Okay.
Just in case.
So you whip out your lyre, you start playing your sort of little dirge there, your little tune to bane him, and some of the people start looking at you and kind of reacting to that. And First Fallen, you see it, like you knew it was coming, and you see his hand shift on his spear, and as he hauls back and throws it, you step forward and you grab it right in midair and you stop it just before it reaches Calder, and Calder stops in his tracks. And he turns around, and when you turn around, you see this kid there, and that's all he looks like. He's just a kid. He's like a 15, 16-year-old kid, and he's in this like overgrown green armor that's just kind of hanging limp on him now. And he's just shaking with anger. He's just shaking with utter anger. And as he sort of is trying to speak and trying to get it out, Calder turns around, and he goes, "Say it. Say your piece." And the kid just goes, "They killed him. They killed him for nothing. It wasn't his fault. He was my friend, and they killed him after they were told not to." And you can see as he's shaking, you can see that his skin is starting to split. And he's starting to sort of go, and there's something that seems to be inside of him that's kind of growing and sort of trying to emerge out of him. And he says, "They killed him for nothing. He was my friend." And as he says that, and you remember when you were in the crypt of Halfdan the Curse, you remember reading or seeing a skull there. There was the skull of a beast that was placed on his funeral bed. The skull of a Karakos, a giant snow-dwelling monster. Men who were irredeemably violent or possessed of extreme anger were said to be possessed by the spirits of a Karakos. And as the boy in front of you starts to shake, you can see this thing start to emerge from deep inside of him as the skin on his body rips apart, and slowly out of his flesh, out of his young body, emerges a beast whose skull you recognize as that of a Karakos, as you saw on the funeral bed of Halfdan the Curse. And this thing is easily a few feet taller than even the tallest Jotun that you've seen. It's a good 15, 16 feet tall. The carapace just drips with malice and anger. Its eyes burn with this bale fire of just pain and and violence, and it lets out this tremendous roar that just overpowers your tune that you're singing and just makes everyone around you kind of cower in fear, and sort of fall to their knees. And you see the Zvala, the Vordruna, step up in front of you and in front of the Jarl, and plant her stick in the snow and start to intone a chant. And she reaches into her bag and pulls out the stones that she cast when you guys were first brought together to go on this quest, and she throws them on the ground. She throws them in the air, and as they tumble over into the air, and you can see the runes spinning through it, the roar of the beast echoes through this village, and in this lightning fast move, its tail shoots forward and hits Zvala right in the stomach, lifts her in the air. And that is where we'll stop for tonight.
What? Whoa.
Glorious battle.
Oh, wow.
At least we made it out of the swamp of sadness.
The Grove of Despised Love.
Okay, sorry. Grove of Despised.
The bog of stench.
The Grove of
just kidding.
Despised Love.
Oh boy.
As you are staring down at the Karakos, anger-made beast.
Did not see that coming.
Love it. Here for it.
Here
die.
for
Absolutely.
it.
Been
You're all
alive for
gonna
like
die.
2 hours, and I'm already gonna.
Yeah.
Yep. You're like, get to business. All right, let's make my way back to Valhalla as quick as possible. Get to the right place. All right.
Yeah,
Just
you'll get to the
charges
gate.
beast. He's got swords taped
Yep.
to his hands. He just charges the
Permanently.
beast.
You'll get to the
Taping.
gate and they'll be like, "Did you forget your keys? What's going on?"
right.
I just tipped out for some milk and
Oh my
a
God.
glorious death.
Oh yeah. Man, we got to get you some mead before you get.
Oh,
Yeah, I got to visit Hadron, the goat of goats.
Goat mead.
All right, thank you so much. We have reached the end of the 4th of 5 episodes. Next week will be the ultimate final episode of Winter Thrice. We'll see what happens when you're confronted with the Karakos, and what you're going to do about it. What you going to do about it? We will see. We will
Stab
see
it.
then. Stab
Chop it up.
Stabbity stab it. Please introduce yourselves again. Tell these people who you are. You're so wonderful tonight. Amazing role play as always. Some of your stuff that's come out. There's a lot of stuff that's just like hanging on the edge there. All of you have things to say. You will get a chance next week to finalize and to address all these lasting little things, these little threads that are still hanging. Beth, you who was singing a song of glory for our friends here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's going on?
I'm Beth. I am emotionally destroyed. This was good. This was a good one. I had a lot of fun with all of the reveals that we got today. So many. I have more questions than I started with. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to be a part of this little bout of shenanigans. You can find me on social media at Beth Masco, Instagram and Twitter. And I am looking forward to coming back here next week and just
what inspires.
Yeah, you never know. We'll find out.
That's right. Thanks so much for being here, for singing songs. I should make you sing the songs
Yeah.
Well,
next time. Next time you're singing. Yep.
Sure.
Speaking of singing songs, Shelley, sing us a song. No.
Me.
Me. Yes,
Bring it full circle.
You. That's right.
Me.
How are you, Shelley?
I am jaw on the floor. This was quite a wrap to episode 4. I'm excited to see how this guy. I can't even believe that there's only one left. You know, like
know.
after all this has been crazy. This episode, I'm psyched.
It's like there's a whole nother chapter coming down the line for you, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But the story,
But the story, yes. Well, the story doesn't end there.
Cool.
All these stories are all interwoven.
This is true.
Yep. You are just setting the table.
that Karakos is not gonna die next week.
You
It's
never
gonna
know.
Suck us all up.
Oh God.
Like Voltron, you're going to attach to it, and then you're going to be like super characters.
Oh my god! Yes,
Yes.
please.
And then you're going to make new characters. You're going to have to fight your old characters who
Does
are
that
not
mean-
part of this.
It gets the hat.
Arena.
It gets the
It
hat.
gets the hat.
It gets the hat.
The tricorn. Totally.
Oh my God.
Where can people find you, Shelley? Other than your
Um,
home, which they shouldn't find you there because that would be.
Should not find me here. Yes, it's dark. It's spooky. I am on Twitter at Real Flea Monkey, and I do lurk in the chat on Discord here and there. There's a link on Twitter too to see what else I do. That's about it.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you have a nice swanky new bow now.
Heck
Yes, I forgot to
Alright.
mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm psyched.
Put it to good
I'll
use.
have a name for it next week. I gotta
Alright.
do some thinking. Spend some
Nice.
time with the bow.
Yep. You gotta, this is my rifle. This is my Scoozy. This is my Scoozy.
Yo, what's up? I'm Scoozy. You can call me Scoozy. Or Scoos. You can find me at Scooz News on Twitter, and I have had an absolute blast playing this first season so far. I play Byron, and
Are you playing
it
Byron
has
though?
been
Yeah. What's the deal?
I have had
Where's he
so much
playing
fun
you?
playing with everybody, and y'all make this so much fun, and is just a hoot. Yes, I'm so excited. I can't believe next week is the last one. This is ridiculous. I want to hang out with these characters like for a long time because they're great.
You just want the booze.
It's true.
Well, I can get you some
Be
booze.
honest.
You're just here for the booze. You know.
News.
Booze news. That's right. Booze news. Speaking of all the news that's fit to print, DM Dave.
Hey
Dungeon
everybody.
Dave. What's up,
I'm Dave. That's me.
I'm Dave.
Thanks. Super jazzed about the episode and looking forward to the big conclusion next week. Happy to be here. And yeah. I am
What you got
very
going on, Dave?
suspicious of Scoozy's. Very suspicious
Yeah.
of Byron. And I'm hoping that we get to figure out something more.
I like
some
that
point.
you had no surprise at all when you saw Byron in the Hall of the Dead.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
But Dave's very suspicious.
Of course.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter and in Discord and all that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
Yep. Go find
Yada, yada, yada.
go find me.
Good luck finding me. I'm out there.
You can find me on TikTok and OnlyFans. Thanks for hanging out with us. And finally, the man, the myth, the legend who finally has found his name after all this time, first of the fallen, Helvar.
Yeah.
Hey, look, with his normal voice.
Normal voice this time instead of doing this in the giant voice. Yeah, no, it's a freaking blast. Now he's alive again. He gets to go back into battle and possibly get into the damn hall and have himself a good time.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna
Oh
happen.
yeah. It's great. Thank you guys for the resurrection there. That was awesome. He was sitting there counting when they're like only 4 can go, and he's like 1, 2.
It was
We weren't
too
gonna leave you
sad.
behind.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. But yeah,
Nice.
you
You
can
go for
find me over at Insomnia Night RPG on Twitch.
Where
Or
all the weird
my
stuff happens.
Crazy fucking antics, and it's not ASMR. Maybe it is for some people.
It's ASMR for
Just
people.
some-
It's
Some
ASMR
people.
for people who are too zen and want to be really freaked out.
Right. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
starting our own Guild Superior SMR channel, by the way, just so you know, putting it out there.
Exciting.
Great.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a blast.
think sounding great is the entire point.
That's it. I am a Bleakseason. You can find me everywhere at the Bleakseason. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Thanks to Andy, my producer. We have upcoming, we have Sunday Vason that I'll be running out here. We have next Monday a new Monday Night Mayhem starting up with DOK's GM Miko doing his World of Astera. Are some of you in that? Beth, are you in that?
Yep.
Beth is in that. All right, so we'll get to see Beth starting Monday for 4 nights in Miko's World of Astera. Next Tuesday, we go back to the inimitable world of Greyhawk, where we had a crazy game last Tuesday that Dungeon Dave got us through. It was a crazy game with an ending fit for sending me to the sanitarium because it was something. It was pretty hardcore. So looking back forward to getting back into that. And is next Wednesday the finale of New Varden, Dave?
It is.
All right. So next Wednesday we will have the finale, finally, the finale of Dungeon Mr. Ty's New Varden. Great players, great game that's coming to an end. Eight episodes that flew by. And we're very honored and touched that Mr. Ty brought his game here and look forward to seeing how that ends. And then next Thursday, we'll be right back here for the finale of Winter Thrice. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to raid our good friend Phoenixy Wacky for once. We finished before him. So we're going to go in, say hi. Please give him some Guild Superior love. Hit that raid button. And thank you for hanging out with us. And we'll see you all laters. Have a good evening.
Bye.